Welcome to Exeter, England, and welcome to Exeter University. Today, I'm bringing to you a very special piece, the BYD Atto 3. This is a Chinese-built car that you can't get in the United States, and here I am on vacation in England with Kathy, and I rented this little car right here. So today, I'm going to be reviewing this car and giving my first impressions. Maybe review is a strong word, but I'm going to be telling you all about this BYD Atto 3, what we like, what we don't like, and let's get into this, folks. You know, one of the best features of this car is it's actually a musical instrument as well. That's just awesome. Well, you know what's even better? You can tune it. You can get your little hex wrench and slide these left and right and make these different pitches. This is the perfect car for Kathy being an orchestra teacher. It comes with a built-in string instrument. All right, so one of the things you'll notice that on the base model of this car, there's no power, if you would, trunk. So you actually have to push it. It's not that hard. But inside here, it's got a dual level floor. And what I like about this is the fact that if you can take this piece off and you have enough room to store your level 2 DC fast charger. They also give you a level 1 here as well, and a tire pump there, which is good. But you could, if you really wanted to, you could put this false floor up a second level, or you can put it all the way down, which is what we're doing because we've got an enormous amount of suitcases here, which, quite frankly, can fit. There goes the Pringles, and you can fit quite a bit of stuff in here, and shut that. Come around to the front though, because one of the things is there is not a frunk on this car, which is strange, because if you look down in here, there's plenty of room for a frunk, but they just leave everything exposed, which I guess is, I don't know, that seems a little bit odd to me. And check this out. This is the battery. It's got a little canvas cover for it. That is your 12-volt battery. But you know, it's not finished, which is quite interesting. The other thing I just want to point out, if you come over here to the side, and Kathy, if you don't mind, stand right over there. Now, I'm going to open this car door, and I want to show you look how far forward this B-pillar is, and see where it is based on where I have the seat in the position where I want it. Look at how far back that seat is from where I'm going to actually sit. And what happens with this is two problems for me. One is getting in. I really have to sort of, now right here, I got to wedge myself in and then fall in. And so that's a little bit odd. But then, let me start it up. Once I'm in the car, my elbow, or my arm right here, if I want to put my arm on the sill, I can't, because this B-pillar is super far forward. The other thing that I want to show you is that when I have the window up, and I just want to drive and I want to keep my elbow on this lip, it just falls off. So that's a little bit strange. And then in addition to that, when I'm in the car, it's got good ergonomics as far as my left elbow, but my right elbow, where it wants to go, it's not set perfectly. Like the Model 3, the ergonomics, they just have it worked out really well. Now I'm nitpicking here a little bit, but these are kind of some of the things that my initial reactions to this car. This B-pillar though, that's a problem for me. I think it would be a showstopper. I wouldn't buy the car because it's hard for me. 6'5" guy getting in and out of this car, it's just not super good. All right, in addition, you've got tilt and telescopic manual, very standard, no big deal. you've got this ID4-esque, if you will, little graphic here in the center, which is got a lot of information in there. You've got your battery state of charge, how many estimated miles of range you have left, the time, the temperature outside, whether or not you're in drive park or neutral. And you know, it's a nice complement to have that extra real estate for video screen right there, in addition to the screen that's in the center. Now, depending on the model that you get of the BYD Atto 3, or is it Atto 3, I don't know, you get either a 12.8 or a 15.6 inch screen. And this is the smaller screen because this is the base model, again, without the rear trunk being power. But I'll tell you what, if I were going to buy one of these, I would get the base one, because after doing my research, this thing comes with a gorgeous roof. I don't know if you can see this, but it's a power roof that opens that far, and then it even opens that far with a screen that covers. And that's on the base model. In addition to that, I've also got power seats that I can use, and LED headlamps. So I haven't driven this car at night yet, so I can't tell you how bright they are, but I'll tell you what, it's a lot of features, and this is the base model. So my estimation, the base one is the one to get. All right, so we've arrived at our very good friend's house in West Dorset. This is a beautiful town, and I was looking at these cars here. No EVs, except for that one over there, the rental. But I was curious about this P on the hood of this Suzuki Swift, and it's their daughter just passed her test, and so that means if you see a P driving down the road, watch out. All right, so one of the really interesting parts about this BYD Atto 3 is it has a battery technology called blade technology. Now, the first thing is there's a cell to platform sort of arrangement, almost like a sandwich, where you think about the battery being a little bit lower in the chassis, a little bit lower center of gravity, but it's built into the strategy is that they've built this into the actual architecture of the car itself. So you've got the frame of the car, the battery with the blade technology, and then you have the cover underneath it at the bottom. So 62 kilowatt hour battery pack, about 60.5 kilowatt hours usable. But one of the benefits of this blade technology is that the cells, rather than being like 46 millimeters wide and 80 millimeters high like Tesla's 4680, these cells are actually so thin they represent almost like blades. And one of the benefits to that is from a safety standpoint is that they've done some testing where this battery, they'll take a nail and they'll penetrate the battery pack with the nail, and the battery doesn't really, it's very apt to not get into like a runaway situation where it'll have potentially a fire. So it's kind of this whole integration system of the blade technology with the C to P in terms of how low it is in the center of gravity, and that's really supposed to be one of the benefits of this. This is a lithium iron phosphate battery that has no cobalt in it at all. And the longevity of the battery is supposed to be much better and longer term. So yeah, BYD is really sort of leading the cause when it comes to battery technology. Now, all these companies have different, strategies and what have you, but I found it fascinating learning about BYD's battery technology. Quite impressive. Yeah, so I would say that the Achilles heel that this BYD Atto has, it's got a couple of issues I would talk about. Forgetting about the fact that the B pillar is kind of far forward. The fact is this thing only charges at 89 kilowatts. That's it. So if you're thinking about this as a road tripper, you can kind of forget about covering any kind of ground and charging fast. It's just not going to do that. And on one hand, you'd say, okay, if it's not a great road tripper, then it should be a great city car or one to zip around in or go have some fun in. And the thing is, it just is not that fast either. So 0 to 60 in only about 7 seconds. I will tell you that my Model 3 rear-wheel drive that does 0 to 60 5.8 feels a lot faster than this does. I'm not saying it's lacking in terms of speed, but it's not going to be a little, hot hatch that you want to run around in the city and zip around. The MG4, which is interesting, has got a 170 kilowatt motor on the rear axle, rear wheel drive, and then the MG4 X Power adds another motor up front, and the 0 to 60 times, or 0 to 100 kilometers, is I think under 4 seconds on that car. So if you're looking for a hot little hatch, that MG4, now the prices are probably going to get a little bit higher, but you're going to end up with a second motor and all-wheel drive. So, cross shop these things. The MG4, I'm going to try and rent one on this trip and see if I can drive one as well. But it seems to be a little bit smaller from its appearance. I think that the room that you have in this car, the Atto 3, it seems to be a little bit larger room. But yeah, not a great charging beast. Not going to be a zippy car, but it is a comfortable, wafty car that's going to have a little bit of lean. I'm out here in the hills, actually down by the water in the south part of England, in West Dorset right now, and there's a lot of hedgerows, a lot of single lane roads that two cars will go past each other on its way, and it's not super tiny. So you gotta watch it when you're going down the road. I think the MG4 is a little bit smaller and maybe a little bit zippier. Having said that, comfortable car, and really good technology with the battery pack, that LFP, without any cobalt in it, and the blade technology. So yeah, I'm actually real happy with this vehicle. I'm glad I rented it. I'm glad I was able to spend some time with it. I think that the Chinese are onto something here, and I think that they're going to be coming, at least I don't know when or if they're going to be coming in the United States, but what I would say is watch out. When I was a kid, I remember when Toyota and Honda and Datsun came over, and everybody was kind of laughing at these Japanese brands, and arguably they were very simple cars back then, but they were cheap, reliable transportation that got good gas mileage. These cars are from China right now are the real deal. I mean, NIO, XPeng, Li, BYD and SAIC with the MG nameplate. There's a lot of heritage for the MG name. I do see a lot of them on the road around here in England, not so much the BYD. I'm not sure if that's because they've been on the road longer than BYD coming into this market. But look, good car, check it out. I highly recommend you to drive one and see what you think of it yourself, and please comment below. One of the things you'll see here is with the floor all the way down, you've got this little ridge here, which is to be expected, which is fine. But these seats don't really fold completely flat. They're at an angle. They're definitely higher on this end over here than they are over on this end over on the right hand side there. So this is kind of typical, but they don't fold all the way flat. You've got decent room over in here, and of course your string instrument on all 4 doors, which you need. Absolutely need that. One last door thunk. Let's give it a whirl. That is pretty solid. No power on the base model for the rear hatch here, but when you shut it, pretty solid. And again, we'll hit the wide angle. Real good. I heard a little vibration. That was the window I saw because it's out of the track. Full frame for the glass, which is real nice. No glass here, and we do like this little panel there aesthetically. Nice looking car. Look at all this luggage. Fits in the car, no problem, as long as you got 2 people. Yeah, so it definitely has rear pedestrian warning or car warning of some sort. But yeah, very good technology here. I love this. This camera right here is amazing, that 360 view. And the backup camera also is great with all the lines. So I'm going to back up here and check out how it looks. All right, so you can see how good this camera looks. And hopefully I don't crash into anything as I'm demonstrating this. All right, we've got technology there. We'll go a little bit further forward. You see the lines, how they move? Really good. And back like that. And this down here really shows you the curb. This is an excellent graphic. I'm very impressed with that. And then as you turn the wheels, the yellow shows you where you're going. I mean, we've seen this technology in a lot of different cars before, of course, but it's nice to know it's in this BYD. All right, so let me take you through the gear shifter and all these buttons down here. I think it's pretty well intuitively laid out. Obviously, you've got your gear shifter. You press this button and you push away to go into reverse, or you pull it back to put it into drive, and you put it in, you hit this to put it into park. The start stop button I think is in a bad spot, too close to the park. One time I actually meant to put the car in park and I hit the start stop button, or vice versa, I can't remember. But to me, I think you get used to it once you drive the car. But they're a little close together. And by the way, why should a car even have a start stop button? I don't think they should. Hazard lights right here, which is great. If you're backing out of your garage, you put on this this is kind of like a park assist, and it'll warn you if you're getting too close to cars that are potentially in your path. This button over here is for blind spot detection, and that's a good thing. All right, this button right here, this is the automatic vehicle hold. You know, I think I had pressed it once and it worked, and another time perhaps I pressed it off because I was working this regen button right here. Now the regen button, it'll be either in high or in standard mode. And again, I mentioned that in both modes, that does not, in my opinion, give me enough regen. This is a button here for traction control in slippery conditions, snow or ice. And then this is the mode for the driving modes that you have. So sport, normal, or eco. And then you've got a number of different buttons right here, which is interesting. Instead of having to hit up on the main screen, you've got some fan controls, automatic temperatures. You've got how much you want the fan to go for, the speed of the fan, and then this will put it into well, if you hit that right now, you'll hear the defroster will kick on. So that's pretty cool. And then this is just to increase the volume. One of the things that's nice is when you're increasing the volume, if you want to just turn off it's kind of redundant button here, but you can go like this for either the guidance, voice guidance, or the media right there. That button sort of is replicated over here on this. Sorry for the sun there. It's replicated right over here, so it'll appear right there. You can push the volume up or down like that. Up over here, you've got the roof controls. Here you can open the roof, and here you can shut the roof. One of the nice things about this roof is it comes standard in the base trim of the car, but it has a nice little sort of opaque cover. And when you hit this to open it the first time, you'll see that it just kind of vents the roof, so the cover goes back just a little bit and the glass goes up. And then if you hit it again, then you'll see that it opens up, and it'll go back to one position right like that, and you can actually go back even further if you'd like. And it's beautiful, it's nice. The roof doesn't go very far forward. It's quite a big distance from here over to here. It doesn't feel super open when you're driving the vehicle. But what a nice thing to be able to have this roof here. I will say on some of these local roads around here in West Dorset, England, which are super narrow and kind of bumpy, I did notice a couple of rattles coming from the roof up there. So, I would say that that's kind of an interesting thing. And then to close it, basically you just hit the button once, hit it again, it'll close the glass roof. It's pretty quick. and then you hit it a third, well, one more time, and then you see the cover actually goes all the way down. So very nice controls up here. Some bright LED lights up in here, map lights and what have you. You know, very, very standard stuff in terms of seatbelt height. Feels pretty chintzy, but it does the job. LED light up there. Let's check out the back seat. Let's check out the room and the floor on the back seat. I'm curious with this blade technology for the battery, if I'm going to have room. While I'm here, you'll see that my legs, now I'm 6'5", and my knee, it's not uncomfortable, but it definitely doesn't, it jams up against here. I would say the Polestar 2 is much more of a cockpit feel than this is, but this does have a little bit of a cockpit feel to me. And the ergonomics, like I mentioned earlier, it's okay. It's not great. I feel like my right elbow over here is kind of slipping off this. I can go wider, and then here, this is a real issue here. If I open the window and I put my arm out here, that's when my arm hits this B pillar, which is just too far forward. So, you know, a couple little niggles, a couple little things that I don't like. The air conditioning system is adequate. It was pretty hot out yesterday, and we were nice and cool in the cabin here. Let me go check out the back seat. All right, so I've managed to get myself in the back seat here. I've put the seat actually where Kathy is comfortable driving the car. It's kind of nice back in here. This is not leather, but it's a soft touch fabric, and you've got a nice pocket back in here. And am I comfortable? Let me shut the door here and see. Now look, I'm 6'5". I'm sitting in the back seat here. I could tolerate this. Probably not on a road trip, but definitely to go get ice cream. You know, it's a typical back seat in a relatively small SUV. So I think it's okay. The interesting thing is, let me open up the door here. Come around and look at the angle that my knees are at. The concept of the C2P battery pack being integral part of the frame. What I read about this car is it's supposed to have the battery pack be very thin because of the blade technology, and also be a lot lower. But look at the angle of my knees. I think that this kind of reminds me of the Lucid Air, where in the Grand Touring, you have an extra 18 kilowatt hours or 12 kilowatt hours of battery, and you lose what they call the garage. But the battery down here, the way that it's set up, I think it's got a relatively high floor height. So I think that's just okay. In the back here, you've got center, you've got air. Let me take this from you, Kath. You've got air vents over here, which are good. There's no way to control them from the rear. There's no rear screen in here. You've got USB-A and USB-C in there. And you've also got this center sort of cup holder armrest that I do like. And there's 3 seat belts in the back here, which are good. These headrests are really comfortable. They're very soft. And again, I do like the way the seats are shaped and the integration of the seat. So let me try and get out of this thing here. I got myself in here. I don't know, Kathy, do you have a shoehorn? I need the anti-shoehorn. So actually, that wasn't so bad. I got in, I got out, I survived. So let's just take a quick tour of the back of in the boot back here. You've got this false floor, which has got 2 levels. And if you have it at a high level, which is good, and that gives you a lot more storage underneath. And this is where you keep your charging cables and all of that. And this car comes with with an air compressor as well. But if you want, what you can do is you can put this floor lower. And that gives you at least, I don't know, an extra 4 inches of depth there, which increases the amount of storage that you have in the car. This little thing right here, it's okay. It's actually pretty chintzy, but it does the job. You know, it's not really there to do anything other than hide what's in the back of your boot. So I think it does the job, but it's not the greatest quality. One last door thunk. Let's give it a whirl. That is pretty solid. No power on the base model for the rear hatch here, but when you shut it, pretty solid. And again, we'll hit the wide angle. Real good. I heard a little vibration. That was the window I saw because it's out of the track. Full frame for the glass, which is real nice. No glass here, and we do like this little panel there aesthetically. Nice looking car.